Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So before we talk, I want you to go get your tea, your bubbly water, which is what I have. Go get something because we need to have a sit down. Okay, we need to talk about something real quick. I know that we often hear all this talk about the ego and discerning what's good for the ego versus what is good for the soul, surrendering to the ego, all of that good stuff. If you feel at this moment that you're very exhausted, you're tired, you can't keep going anymore, you don't have the inspiration that you need, feeling like you're just very defeated right now, this is a message. I don't have tarot cards today because this just came to me, but it is probably coming from the fact that you're out here and you're fighting so hard to hold on to things that the universe is trying to free you from. Okay, let me repeat that. You're fighting to hold on to things that the universe is trying to free you from. And I bring up the ego because the ego is the reason that you're fighting to keep these things. We spend so much time asking the universe for change. I want to grow. I want life to be better. This is what I want. But the ego comes into play whenever you begin attempting to pick and choose what changes you want to go through, what you do and don't want to let go of, how you want things to happen. You may not realize, but that relationship that the universe is trying to end for you could be the very thing that's holding you back. That job that you got let go from, or you feel like you're about to let go from it, could be the very thing that's holding you back. Okay? That situation that you're in where you're being forced to make a move and you're trying you're holding on so tight, I'm telling you, that's what's holding you back right now. I think that what it is that you're so afraid of this radical change, and you want things to move in a new direction, but you want to dictate when and how it happens. You want changes to happen that you're a little bit more comfortable with. And as soon as the universe brings up something and it frightens you a little bit because it's putting that pressure on you. All right, let's go back to that. The reason that you're so afraid of these radical changes that are coming up and you're even fighting to keep what you're being freed from is because it's like you want to plan everything. You want to have everything figured out. Whenever the universe is like pushing you and they're like, jump out there, let it go, figure it out, it scares you because you're not in control and you're not able to plan all of your next steps. But that faith, you don't have faith. That's what faith is. Walking into the unknown, taking a leap of faith. We're all in a tarot if you're on my page. So think about the Fool, okay? Think about the Fool tarot card. Think about the number 1 if you're into numerology, which is also about leaps of faith, new beginning, trying something new. It's not faith if you have everything figured out. It's not faith if you have all your ducks in a row and you know exactly how it's gonna happen, because when you wanna have everything going the way that you do, or the way that you desire for it to go, I'm not gonna edit this video. So if I start talking all over the place, forgive me. But if you want things to go according to your plan, you don't leave room for miracles to happen. You don't. Like, y'all gotta understand that the power of the universe is so unlimited, okay? The universe, and I say it all the time, and I'm always gonna say it. You and me and everybody else, we are an extension of the universe. The universe is limitless. The universe could do any and everything. The universe has so much power. The universe created you and I, okay? You are an extension of that. That means that you have access to unlimited power, unlimited miracles. You have access to all of that, but you cannot be afraid of these radical and these uncomfortable changes that have to occur to put you in the line of getting the miracles. You never know, okay? You never know what's going to happen. So many times you're like, I feel trapped. I feel stuck. Like I said, you're holding on to the things that the universe is trying to free you from. Let yourself be free. Let yourself be liberated. Let yourself just go out there with no fear. I talked about this today, and I'll tell you guys some of my own experiences too. That way you know you're not alone. But I was speaking today about how and I'll do a separate video on this, but how I have moved all throughout my 20s. I'm 29 years old. I'll be 30 in February of next year. I was just speaking about all the times I've moved. And I talked about how initially it was not wasn't me. I never jumped out here and said I want to move almost every year of my 20s. Absolutely not. I remember being 21, I think, when I first began to move around a lot. And I remember I was broken down. I had an apartment, I had a car, I had a job. I didn't like them. Like, I was grateful for what I had, but it just wasn't, the job wasn't paying well. Car I had wasn't the nicest car. And then my apartment, which is not, it's not a good apartment, not a good area. So I had things, but I didn't want any of it. I wanted more, I wanted better for myself. When I tell y'all that everything happened, I remember like yesterday, everything happened at once. Okay, this is back in 2016, oh my God. I got fired from my job. And this all happened within a span of a couple of months. I got fired from my job. I was working at a doctor's office. I was on my birthday. Oh my God, it was on my freaking birthday. I was driving downtown, leaving an event. Somebody ran through a stop sign, hit my car. They totaled my car, okay? Like, my car literally spins around in a circle. I didn't get hurt, luckily, but my car got totaled. Mind you, I just lost my job. I'm a single mom, by the way. My kid was a baby. Y'all know babies are expensive. Didn't have any money. My car got totaled. On top of that, I got an eviction notice like a month later. When I tell you that the universe stripped everything from me, but like I said, these were things that I didn't like. I wanted better. Again, I was so grateful, but I wanted better. I wanted more for myself. I wanted a career that I loved, which I now have. I'm so grateful. But I wanted a career that I loved. I wanted a car that I liked, and I wanted to have a really nice home. I just wanted my life to be better. I just wanted to upgrade my life. Like, I knew I wanted more. And when all that happened, when I tell you, I held on to my job as long as I could. I knew they were gonna fire me. Held on as long as I could until the day came. She fired me. Me and my boss, we hugged each other and everything. We were cool because I just knew it was coming, right? The apartment, I tried to hold on to that as long as I could. The car, when I tell you, I didn't want, but the universe was freeing me. And I didn't realize at the time, I was just so distraught. And I was like, oh my God, my life is being turned upside down. I have a kid, I'm losing everything. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And then I had to move out of state to go get back on my feet and go live with my family and everything. And that moment was so defining for me and my life, because I remember, I'll never forget my brother. Love him. I love him to death. My brother Chris, I'll never forget. I called him crying and I was like, oh my God, I've lost everything. This story makes me emotional, so if I cry, we're here, okay? We're chatting, so if I cry, but I called my brother and I'm like, I just lost everything. On top of that, I had just left an abusive relationship with my kid's dad. And I remember my brother and his friends, they came and they grabbed me in the middle of the night, and me and my trash bags filled with all my stuff. And they took me there. And I stayed with my brother for a few months, and I remember it was such a defining moment. Like, I had to start over. I got me a job. I worked at Hooters out there for about 8 months, 6 days a week, 16-hour shifts. Shout out to my girls that I'm still friends with who work there. And yeah, like, I remember getting down there. I didn't have rent, didn't have a car, and I just worked and worked and worked. I paid off all of my debt. I bought myself a cash car. And I got myself together. And when I got myself together, I still didn't have much. You know, when I went to Tennessee, I had nothing. Remember, I just lost everything. As I said to y'all, the universe freed me from everything. And when I got back on my feet, I still didn't have much. And I just remember, again, it was such a defining moment in my life, because after that, I was able to like run off and start taking so many leaps of faith and so many risks in life, because I started going by the motto, well, you don't have anything to lose. You want to move to a new city or a new state, you don't have anything to lose. You just don't. And after that, like, every time something would get taken from my life, it would become easier for me. I looked at it that way too. I looked at it as a sense of freedom. Oh, okay, cool. It's not in alignment anymore. And I just tweeted this not that long ago, but anytime something ends in your life, it either was not in alignment anymore or you learned your lesson. That's it, either two things. And going back to Buddhism, they always say that we're constantly experiencing losses, but at the same time, we are constantly experiencing new arrivals, right? And it's funny looking back. I turned out fine, you know, life turned out good for me. And but I remember looking back like so distraught, being 21 years old with a little bitty kid. He's 8 now. And just so like terrified. So I'm getting emotional. It's like, it's weird looking back, but just being so terrified of the fact that I had lost everything. I didn't know, like I didn't have a choice but to have faith. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I had no idea. And I don't like to come on the internet and like brag about things that have happened in life, but I will say that I've gone on to experience so many wins. Like every goal I've had, I've accomplished. Everything that I wanted to manifest, I've manifested it. Everything. And in those moments, whenever everything was being stripped away from me, I did feel broken down. So if you're feeling like that, I completely understand. I did feel very broken down at that time, and I did feel very hopeless. And I spent so much time just crying and having to force myself to get up. Just having to force myself to get up and try every day, doing my best, whatever that looked like. On top of having to be a mother and just having to push through and just understanding that the universe is always conspiring in my favor and that there had to be better days ahead. Looking back, which is so crazy, but like looking back, had I known back then where life was going to take me, the things that I was going to experience, the people I was going to meet, the places that I was going to live, the opportunities that were going to fall into my life, I never would have been worried, ever, at all. And even since then, I've had other stories about having to have faith and things being taken away from me, but every time it just turns out in such a beautiful way. And I never knew. I didn't know, to be honest. I think maybe my life was going to end up somewhere else. I thought that I would end up being a nurse. I thought that I was going to end up living in Atlanta and actually settling down and being one place. I thought so many things, and it's just like, wow, like, wait, life turned out great. And we're still young. That's another thing. Like I said, I'm 29, all right? If you're in the 30 plus club, you're still young, because I'm still young. So don't y'all be running around here like, I'm 30, I'm getting old, because we don't affirm that. We don't affirm that. And you still have so much time. You have so much time. Like I said, if you're exhausted, it's just because you're trying to hold on to things that the universe is freeing you from. You might not understand it right now. It might not make sense right now, but roll with the punches, okay? It's gonna be okay. And like I said, life always ends up working out better than you could have ever imagined. So if you're going through anything, I feel like I want to give you like a big old hug. I really do. But if you're going through anything right now, it's important to keep your head up. The only thing, you just cannot give up. All right? Cry, surrender, accept that defeat, acknowledge what you're going through, acknowledge how you feel, but don't give up, because your best days are ahead of you. So I love you guys. I hope you have a good day, a good night, or whatever time you may be watching this, and I'll see you on the next video, okay?